All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time with Troy and Trevor Howard. Today is going to be a good day. Today we are talking about something that is not talked about enough in business, and that is customer service. Nobody's talking about customer service. I never hear anybody talking about this, but it's what we should be talking about, right? Customer service is king. Today's topic is called Yes is Best. And I learned this a long time ago from Ron. When I first started working for him in customer service, he told me, always say yes. And I looked at him and I said, what do you mean always say yes?
That sounds like a sales guy. Always say yes, no matter what they want.
That's right. More so than an entrepreneur, Ron is a salesman.
Yes.
And so they love to say the word yes. In fact, if the system doesn't do it, they say yes, it does. And then they go to the developers or the owners or whoever, and they say, we need to make it do this so I can get the sale. So yes is best is always the theme for sales guys. But in customer service, it should be as well. So I said, what do you mean yes? I can't say yes to everything. And he's like, that's true. You can't say yes to everything. But in most cases, when they're calling in and they're a client of ours and they're wanting something, we say either, yes, we can do that because it's probably close to something we're already doing, right? Or it's in our wheelhouse, and maybe we just aren't doing it yet. But with them bringing it up, we go, holy cow, that's something we could provide. Or, yes, we do offer that, because another thing that happens all the time is clients don't realize that you have a service that you have. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That just happened to us the other day, right?
It did. We had a client reach out and they said, oh, hey, we need to do this. And by the way, do you know anybody? Can you refer us to somebody that does this?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I can refer you to us because we do that. And they're like, no way. I didn't know you did that.
I know. And it is so funny. I'm like, that's kind of what spurred some of this conversation was we're now like, holy cow, they didn't know we did this? Well, how come maybe our other customers don't know that? And how come they don't know that? So we're actually changing a few things. Remember, we're always evolving. We're in this game with you, and we're always learning, and we're always sharing this knowledge with you guys. So we're shifting a little bit of things and letting our clients know that, hey, we do this just in case you didn't know. And then the last one would be, yes, we can help you find someone that does do that. So if it's out of your wheelhouse, then referrals and getting a referral fee so you can get it over to somebody else and you can get a fee for that. You can get paid for getting them that referral. So when Ron told me that, he goes, these are like the 3 yeses.
Yeah, I want you to think about that because you can either be the hero or the zero. You know, your customer calls in and says, hey, do you guys do this? And the answer is either, no, we don't do that. And they go, ugh. Or you can be the hero and go, you know what? Yes, I can help you. I know somebody who can take care of your problem and they can service you and it'll be absolutely awesome. And I'm going to make the introduction and you're the hero. Yep. Right?
Very
The answer
simple.
was yes.
Absolutely. In fact, Zappos was the perfect example of that with their
yes.
Hey, he was driving in the limo with his buddies, and his buddy was bragging about how great his customer service was, and his buddy's like, well, let's call and mess with your customer service and test this. So they called up and they said, hey, I'd like to order a pizza. And the customer service rep was like, oh, I'm sorry, sir, we don't do pizzas, but you know what? I can help you find the closest pizza place. Where are you currently located? And I'm going to do a Google search for you. Great customer service. I mean, it wasn't in their wheelhouse at all, but the answer was yes, I can help you with that. That's what customers like to hear. They don't like to hear the word no. In fact, I just was talking with someone the other day that they went to a patio furniture company that they were referred to. And this particular patio furniture company builds their patio furniture. They're an amazing company that builds their furniture locally, and it's the best patio furniture out there by far. And when they went in, they said, hey, I want to get 4 loungers. And the person who was helping them said, oh, well, we don't currently have any loungers available or in, but when we get some in, I can call you and let you know. So let me take your information down. And they said, well, when do you think that would be? And the person said, well, I don't know. There's no estimated time. We're really busy right now. So she said, okay. And she left there and went to 2 other patio furniture companies. Now, the funny thing about the other 2 is they don't build their patio furniture.
Right.
They order it out of China. I mean, it's not the best stuff, right? Not locally built with, U.S. steel.
Right.
And so the funny thing about it is this first patio furniture company, because they build it, they can take the order. So the answer should have been yes. We can absolutely custom build that for you. So we're going to get that order started today, and it'll be 3 weeks. and you'll have your beautiful custom patio furniture. That's the answer, because that's what they do. They can do that. I know that for a fact. And so she went to this other place, and the other patio furniture was 11 weeks out. So she went to a third place, and they were 3 weeks out. And that third place got the business. And unfortunately, she got the inferior patio furniture.
Right.
And the first company missed out on the sale.
Yeah, and think about that. If you have the choice of 3 weeks and it's just something that's being shipped over from China, or 3 weeks and it's custom made for me, which one are you going to choose, right? But the person who said yes is the person who got the sale.
Yeah, absolutely. So Troy, let's kind of go into the next section of this, looking for the yes.
All right, so looking for ways to say yes. This is really important because a lot of times our instinct is just to say no. Oh, do you do that? No, right? And our especially customer service reps, our employees, a lot of times they just no, right? So you got to look for ways to say yes. I'll tell you a little story about one of our customers. So again, we've got like over 4,000 customers, 27 countries, and our system does a lot of things. The SoTellUs system does all these crazy things, all this great stuff, referrals, you name it, special offers, all this stuff. But we always get that customer every once in a while that's like, hey, does the system do this? And, it doesn't do everything.
Right.
So this one customer called in and they asked that question, and it was something very similar to what our system did, but not exactly. And our success coach had an option. They could have said, no, it doesn't do that, and ended the conversation, right? With a bad taste in the customer's mouth of because nobody wants to hear no. Or they could have said yes, but it does it in a little bit different way.
Yeah.
And so that's what they chose to do. They said, well, yes, the system does that, but it doesn't do it exactly like you want to do it. But I think that's a really great idea. Let me talk to my bosses.
Yeah.
And so, he came to us, we looked at it, and we said, you know what? That actually is a good idea. What would it take to do it? And we talked to our development team. They said, oh, a couple of hours, we could knock that out. Boom, be good to go. And next thing you know, we're calling that customer back like 2 or 3 hours later, and we're saying, hey, by the way, that suggestion you made, that thing you wanted, it does it now exactly the way you want it to be done.
Yeah.
And they were absolutely shocked. They were just like blown away that we had listened to them, that we had said yes, and then we'd fulfilled on that and, gave them what they wanted. Now, again, you can't always do that because we get requests all the time, for changes of this and that in the system, and developers are really, really expensive, so it's not always possible, but we always look for the opportunity to say yes. And here's some examples of that, right? A lot of times when someone calls in, they want to make an appointment, and you're like, hey, is this time available? And the answer is nope, that time's not available. Okay, right? So you can just say no, or you could say, that time is not available, but yes, I do have the following times available.
Yeah.
Right? You solved the problem. You gave an alternative. You said the word
And that might
yes.
sound silly. That might sound silly to some of you that well, duh, of course we always say that. Well, guess what? Not everybody always says that. And I've got the proof. I've got the recordings of clients' calls that they're just like, nope, we don't have that available. Like the front desk gal is like, nope, we don't have that available.
Exactly.
And then it just sits there in silence. And then the person, the client, especially with the dentist, the patient says, well, do you have any other times available? And you're just like shocked. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? But it's just, the answer is, no, we don't have that time available, with no follow-up.
Right.
So don't laugh at it and think we're being crazy.
Because we hear it all the time. Yeah. And the other thing, like we talked about with, an item being in stock. Yeah, you might not have that item in stock right then, but you can always say yes. Instead of saying, no, we don't have it, you can say, yes, I can order that item and it will be available for you in X number of days.
Yep.
Right? Amazon, you go buy something on Amazon, very seldom do you see out of stock. It's yes, we have it, and it will be shipped in a couple of weeks to you.
Yeah.
Here's the estimated ship date.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, actually, right now, especially, I've seen that several times where I'm like, 2-day Prime. Oh, nope, it's going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But because they said yes, I purchased it. If it had said out of stock, I'm bouncing.
Oh, totally.
Right? I'm not buying it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and I'm going to give an example of the, yes, we can find someone to do that for you or help you with that. And even if it's not in our wheelhouse, just today, a client of ours called in and needed help with a domain name.
Yeah.
Well, that's not our wheelhouse. That's not what we're doing. They needed to take a domain name. She was a realtor. She needed to take a domain name and point it to, or what she wanted was to point it to a website that was provided by her company.
Yeah.
But she didn't have control of it. So it's just a page on their website for her. So she's like, well, can I do that? Can you guys help me with that? And instead of my customer service person saying no, my success coach is what we call them, saying no, he said, you know what? I think so. Let me see. I've heard, that they've done something like this before. Let me go find out. Comes to me and I said, it's super simple. It's not what we do, and we don't necessarily even have control to do it for you, but here are the steps to do it. Yes. And you can simply just call this company and they will do it for you for free because they host your domain name. They have your domain name. It's as simple as forwarding it. And the lady was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, I didn't even have a clue. Like, I bought the domain name, but I had no idea what to do with it at that point. Like, we could have just been no, and she would have gone, okay. And she wouldn't even necessarily been mad at us, but she would have walked away from us feeling like, what do I do now? Instead, she walked away going, these guys are awesome. Yep. I love their review system. I love everything about them. They help me so much. And then this isn't even what they do, and they helped me with it.
Exactly. Yeah. So be the hero, right?
Yep.
By saying yes. Okay. So we're going to get to the homework now.
Yep.
Here's what we want you to do. It's very simple. Come up with 3 common questions that you normally get asked, that your clients will ask you or your team, where you would normally say, no, we don't do that.
Yep.
And then I want you to come up with a solution or a way to reword your answer so that it is positive and it is a yes. So again, it might be, yes, we do that, but as we do it a little bit different, it might be, yes, I can help you find someone who can do that. Figure out a way to say yes with at least 3 things that you deal with on a weekly basis.
Yeah. If you're getting the same thing over and over and over again from a client, maybe you have a new avenue of revenue that you could start. So think about that. In fact, best story of that really quick. Ron, back when he sold Yellow Pages, he went into this Yellow Page. He picked up somebody else's account that wasn't in the area anymore. And so he goes in and it's a renewal, meaning that they need to renew for the next year. And the guy said, do you remember what the business was? Tackle, like fishing stuff. It was like fishing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like tackle and fishing stuff. He walks in there and he goes, hey, I'm here to, renew your ad for the Yellow Pages for next year. And the guy's like, get out of here. I don't want to. You guys screwed the whole thing up. And Ron's like, oh, I'm so sorry. What happened? And he's like, you guys put me under like the yarn section.
Yes.
And all year long, I got calls for yarn. Do you have this kind of yarn? Do you have this kind of yarn? He's like, I am so mad at you guys. I will never advertise in your book again. And Ron just looked at him and he said, well, I can completely understand your frustration, right? Diffuse the situation. I completely understand that. It's so frustrating. I sympathize with you. I do have one question. The guy's, what? What question? And he said, have you ever thought about selling yarn? And the guy goes, what? No, but maybe that's not a bad idea. And he said, man, I did. I got tons and tons of calls. He goes, okay, you know what? That's it. I want a full page ad, because he had a half page. He goes, I want a full page ad, and I'm going to go out and get every stinking kind of yarn there is, and I'm going to sell yarn. And guess what? For the next 3 or 4 years, that guy sold yarn and renewed every single year.
Oh, yeah.
And he was super happy with it.
The other thing I remember, too, is, again, always looking for the positive, right? Because the guy was like, I'm not doing business with you.
Yeah.
And the other thing I remember Ron said to him was, well, first off, we know that the phone book works because you've gotten a ton, according to you, a ton of calls for yarn. So A, we know it works, right?
That's so
and
true.
B, you should be selling yarn.
You should be selling yarn, buddy. Oh, man, that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, we hope you had a good time with us. We know we've had a good time with you. Thank you for listening to another episode of SoTellUs Time. Please like, share, comment, get it out there. And I know you have the capability of doing it. I say this every time, every week I say this, like, comment, and share. I know you have the capabilities of sharing in some way. Please do so. We appreciate you guys. And we will see you guys on the next episode of SoTellUs Time.